Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lilu Nishmas Imi Murasi Rusmas Mordechai. Rabbi Sai, today's shir is being sponsored for these Heilige Yidden, Chavrusas, B'nai Torah, that were buried yesterday, David Schwartz and Yakir Hexter. And also Gabriel Bloom from the neighborhood, Mamish, 1 block away. B'nai Torah, look at that, they were Chavrusas in yeshiva, and they died on the same day. This morning, somebody asked me to do a search on my email, and I saw an email that I never opened up, and this is from 2 years ago, so I figured I'll read it. Hi, Rebelli, my name is Avi. I'm 1 week away from my 36th birthday. I wasn't always a learner, was never able to sit through a shir. Committing to chavrusas was tough, so I sort of gave up on it. One day, about a month ago, Mo Landy, Shlomi Goldenberg, and Isaac Schwade convinced me to come and watch the daf with them on Thursday night. In Muncie, I was skeptical at first, but I figured worst case, I would have some good sholent. When the daf came on, I saw you geschmack for learning. I'll admit I was intrigued, so I kept watching. By the end of the night, I was hooked and had signed up to learn. Last Sunday, I made my first siyum ever. This is 2 years ago. Monday, December 20th, 2021. First time. I usually read all emails. I don't read them during shir. I saw this one was unread. So really? The daf you don't remember from that day, but the email you remember. You know what? We'll find out, because I sent it to Mo Landy. I asked him if this guy's still doing it. I'm trying to find the right words to thank you for reigniting my spark and love for Torah. Learning the daf has changed the dynamic of my house. My kids see that I learn every day and it makes an impact on them. I want to thank you for getting me back into learning with Yishmak and wit. Signed, Avi. By the way, my good love, something, your good morning, Rabbi, and wake up saying it daily. Okay? Whatever that means. The Koilel is sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood, Refuah Tinoik Ben Malka. We have a long daf. It's a little bit of not a long, but I don't want to go late, so I'm skipping emails for the most part. The Masechta for the unity of Am Yisrael. The month, Yosef and Chaya, Sara, for all the zchusim that come from supporting limud HaTorah. Why do you find that so funny? Paras HaChodesh, Yedidya Pereira, lezchut zivug hagam bekarov, Chanarocha bas Michal, Chayim David ben Shulamis, ושושנה ברכה bas Shulamis. Paras HaChodesh, Rav Noam, Avi, Gary. When is Noam coming back? He's back. Okay. I miss him. Rav Noam, Avi, Gary, and Yosef for your relentless commitment to MDY. Parnas HaChodesh, Lili Nishmas Zechariah ben Moshe, Lili Nishmas Chaya bas Yosef. The Neshama should have an aliyah. Parnas HaChodesh, number 5. Ahron Fraiman. It should be a zchus to Rebelli for continued siyat d'shmai and teaching Torah to Klal Yisroel. Amen. Parnas HaChodesh, Lili Nishmas Kol Chayalei Tzahal Shenaflu al Kiddush Hashem. Parnas HaChodesh in memory of Binyomin Airley from Anonymous in Manchester, who joined the shir at the beginning of Soita, as the Shama should have an aliyah. Chasen of Chani and Elimelech tonight, Mazel Tov to the Rubensteins and the Weinrebs, Mazel Tov. Parnas Hayoim, Sruli Bernstein, Lili Nishmas, Avram Yitzchok Ben Yisrael Tzvi. Parnas Hayoim in honor of MDY's recent new member, Meir Shlomo Schloss, from Mr. Sirloin steak. Oh, maybe that's the guy that took my steak. I don't know. That's to do. I have no idea. Parnas Hayoim, Yisrael Shalitsky, grandmother's yahrzeit today. Chayalei bas Reb Moshe Leil Shalom Shalitzka. But it says Shalitzka over here. And Zaidi. Reb Yoel ben Reb Yosef Zeichet Tzadik Levrocha Hashem Yikim Damoy from Brisk. They don't know. May the neshamas have an aliyah. And may they be a militzim yisharim for all of Klal Yisroel. Anonymous for the zchus, the art of the month. Anonymous is zchus for an easy childbirth, his daughter, and a healthy baby. Boy, say I have 2 questions. If I own an orchard, like the story with Rabbi Yossi Valls, and somebody comes along and takes one of the fruit off my tree, and I'm a nice guy, I want to be moichel him. I say, you know what? The orange that he took off my tree, I want to be mafkir today. Could I do that or not? And why? Could I be mafkir an orange that he already removed and took to his house?
You know if you ate it?
You didn't eat it yet. But it's not in my possession. Doesn't matter. He says, doesn't matter. I thought it has to be in my possession. No. Okay, we're going to see not like that. At least one shita. Another question. The orange is still on the tree. I want to be mafkir. I don't know which one. I know some ganav is going to come by. Usually, once a day, some guy comes by, sees nice fruit, comes by, grabs one orange. I want to be moichelim. When the orange is on the tree right now, I don't know which one he's going to steal. But whichever one he steals, that's the one I want to be moichel. I want to be mafkir. What's the yes or no? Could I be mafkir right now? An orange, I don't know which one of the tens of thousands, I'm going to be mafkir. Oh. Could we? It's kedai maybe to turn that off before the shir. Yeah. So, exactly. You heard what this Talmud Chacham said. He's from what? Another YU guy. He also does the Smichava program. He also donates for the turning of the daf. Rav Jonathan Stefansky. He says it has to do with the machlokes of yesh breira or ein breira. He's right. So Rabbi said we're holding Daf Samach Tes Amud Aleph. 4 lines. Oh, we have guests. We have Reb Elya's, not Elya's brother-in-law. What's your name, Tzadik? Nachum Trepp from London. Psh, a big zchus. Who else? Who? This Bacher. Yeah. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Sral Dessler. He's been here. Okay, so what? He's a regular. Okay, Shalom Aleichem. What yeshiva did you go to? Wingstack. Shalom. What's his name? I forgot his name. The guy with the Chayfetz. No, I can share. That's right. He's engaged. Being married soon. Okay, send him my love, my mazel tov. He's not a guest either. He's an older one. Okay. So, Gufa, 4 lines down from Samach Tes Amud Aleph. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Gozal v'lo nisiyashu bailim. Here we have a case. A guy stole a sheep, but there's no yiyush. The owner didn't give up on it. It's in the rishos of the ganav. So no one can be magdish. No one can make it a carbon. No one can give it over to the Beis Hamikdash. Why? Because in order for you, and this is very important, this is today's sugya right here, says Rabbi Yochanan, if it's not in your possession, you hear Rav Nachman, if it's not in your possession, you don't have the right to be magdish it. It's not in your, it has to be in your rishos. The owner can't be magdish it. The ganav certainly can't be magdish it. It's not his. Well, you can't be magdish something that's not yours. Okay, so that's Rabbi Yochanan. Okay. I go like Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan is more of the. Okay, fine. Oh, here comes Hillel. He'll say it's a machlokes. Say it.
Don't ignore a shlach.
Nah, chas v'shalom. Says the Gemara. Umi Omar Rabbi Yochanan hachi. Did Rabbi Yochanan really say that if it's not in your possession, you don't have any authority over it? So first of all, Rabbi Yochanan paskins like an anonymous mishnah. Anytime in Mishnayos this is an anonymous mishnah, Rabbi Yochanan says that it was done deliberately. Rebbe took out all the names, made an anonymous mishnah, stam mishnah. Why? To show that that's the halacha. Okay, so that's Yisod number 1. He holds like the anonymous. Usnan. What does it say about anonymous? Kerem Revai. Yeah. So here we have the simple chart. The first 3 years of a tree. The tree is Arla, and it's also Ba'ana. You can't have any Ana from it. The 4th year is Neter Revai. We showed already yesterday. Neter Revai has the same halacha like Meiser Sheni. Meiser Sheni, you could eat it yourself in Yerushalayim. If you don't want to bring it to Yerushalayim, you bring the money. You redeem it for money, bring it to Yerushalayim. And the 5th year, anybody could eat from it. Stam, as a side note, I had a small tree on my porch, and every year we were mesupik if it was Neter Revai or not. We weren't sure. We're like 8 years into it. Seriously. But we had nervin. We weren't 100% sure. Finally, when we were like kind of sure that we could eat from it, the tree died. Just now, recently, I had to turn off the sprinkler because water was getting to the neighbor underneath, and Shalom Yisrael. So we never got to eat the fruit, the small oranges. You have to start all over again. So, this is what they would do. They would put a bunch of mud around the vineyard, and when people saw mud and a pile of dirt all around, they understood this is a kerem revai. This is in the 4th year. 4th year, obviously, you're not allowed to steal. But if you do steal, you should know that not only you're over on Gezel, you're also going to be over on eating fruit outside of Yerushalayim. And why would they put dirt? Simanika adama, just like dirt. Ma adama ikahanamina, that you could benefit from it. You could put something in the ground and something will come out. You could plant something. If you redeem it with money, you could have enough from it. Vishil arla, becharsis. And if it was in the 3rd year, they would put these shards of earthenware all around. Simana kecharsis, and it would be a sign to people. Ma charsis shein hanamina. Just like if you try to plant in a bunch of shards, nothing will come out. Af hai the lesbe hanamine. So too, from arla you can have 0 hana from it. Vishal kvarois besid. If there was a kaver or a few kfarim, and we wanted to warn people, kohanim, even Yisraelim, everybody in those days was makbid on Tuma. You don't want to become tamei, because then you touch something and it becomes tamei, and then somebody else can't eat from it. So they would put lime, white lime, all around, and people knew you saw lime somewhere, you stay away. Today it's blue, light blue in Tzfat. It was white. Simana de chivor katzamas. Why would they put white? It's white like bones. Umam cheveshoifech. They would dissolve the lime and pour even more and make it even whiter. Don't forget where we're going to. We're trying to prove whether or not you have the ability to be magdish, to be mafkir, something that's not in your possession. Says Reb Shimon Gamliel, remember his name. Reb Shimon Gamliel says, when do I have to go ahead and put dirt around my vineyard? That's only on Shemitah year. The hefker ninu. Because in Shemitah, anybody could come by and eat from it. So somebody will come by and take from my grapes. I need to warn him, hey, it's the 4th year. Yes, you're allowed to. It's not gneva, but you're not allowed to eat it here in Bet Shemesh. You have to go to Yerushalayim with it. But in other years, unbelievable. Very strong lashon. Feed that Rasha, let him eat as much as he wants, and let him die. There was, I feel bad. I mamish feel bad. Sitting there by Reb Chaim Kanievsky sometimes and hearing the questions that people ask, or even the tsaras. This person has yana machla, and this baby has yana machla. It's nervayim for G'daylim. So somebody asked one of the G'daylim. He said, somebody in his yeshiva was stealing his shampoo, so he put a chemical in the shampoo that balds you. And all of a sudden, he sees a bacher walking around the Beis Medrash with half his head. His hair is missing. So he wanted to know if he was over on giving a guy a haircut during the 3 weeks. That was a shaila. The answer is that it's fine. Haliteyu l'Rasha. You just let the Rasha drink and eat. And he actually said, I'm serious. He said, you're saving him from a deraisa of gneva. You did the right thing. That's what he's told him. Again, no psukim from this shir at all. This is just hearsay. I heard that Reb Zilberstein said that. There was a ma'aseh shahaya where a muscular individual walks into a bar. He looks around and he sees a skinny nevach guy in the corner. He walks over to him, grabs his drink, and downs the whole drink. So the guy starts crying. He says, why are you crying? I'll get you another drink. The guy says, no, you don't understand. This morning I woke up with the biggest migraine ever. I leave to work, I stumble down the stairs, almost broke my foot. I barely get to the bus. I get to the bus stop, I see I just missed the bus. So I wait there, wait. I get to work, my boss says, you're late for the 20th time, you're fired. So he fired me. So I go back home. I get home, there's a sign on the door. I'm sorry, but I had to leave. I lost my wife also. So I come to the bar. I said, that's it. I'm going to take my life. So I put a bunch of poison in my drink. And now you stole my drink. Haliteyu la Rasha. You let the guy take the poison and drink it. So, no, there's a real shaila in the Achronim. You see somebody taking your treif meat from your freezer. You're allowed to, you're not allowed to. You have a guest, l'mashal on Shabbos, doesn't wash. What are the halachas? Are you let somebody be over, not let somebody? Do you have to? You know the whole sugya with Bezin Mafresh from fine. There's a story about the Chavetz Chaim. This is a real story. The Chavetz Chaim, somebody asked him for change. Can I have change? So the Chavetz Chaim took out his wallet and started giving change. The guy grabbed the wallet and ran away. So the Chavetz Chaim screamed to him, I'm giving to you b'matana. And of course, people saw that a guy stole from the Chavetz Chaim. They chased the guy down, they caught him. And when they brought the wallet back to the Chavetz Chaim says, I don't want the wallet. I gave it as a gift. I wanted him to have the gift. I don't want it. So, the tznuim, says the Gemara.
Screamed.
What?
Screamed.
What did I say?
Screamed.
Yeah, that's the same, the email. Yeah, okay. Shkoyach for the correction. He screamed. You should come here in the Hebrew one. Mikan. This is not a language that I can speak properly. The tznuim, big tzadikim, as I mentioned yesterday, Rav Shlomo Shvadron says, the tznuim, because they do chesed when nobody knows. They don't announce their chesed. They don't say, oh, look at me, I'm a big bal chesed, I do tzedakah and I give to this yeshiva, that yeshiva. They put money aside and they say, when some Russia comes along and steals my thing or stole my thing, I am going to give, this money is going to be mechalel, it's going to be paida, that grape that he stole. And that grape is no longer revai, it's chulin. The revai is going to go on to this money. The tznuim, they put money, but look at this lashon. Kol hanilkat. Nilkat means that it already happened. Not kol hayiloket. It's a very, very important nafkamina. That's the sugya really. Kol hanilkat. Anything that somebody stole already, it's not in my possession. That's the problem with Rabbi Yochanan here. Somebody took my grapes and ran away. Those grapes that are in his house, I am putting money right over here, and I'm going to make them chulin. He's the balabais, you're saying. The balabais needs a chavish. I hear. Let's get there. I know what you're saying. He's the balabais, but he's not the balabais because it's not b'shusay. I hear. Very good. So, again, Rabbi Yochanan is the one that says that if the animal is not in your possession, you own an animal. A guy just took it. He took it to his house. Says Rabbi Yochanan, I cannot make it a carbon because it's not in my house. Over here, the tznuim say that you could, not you can't, you could be mechalel somebody's grapes and do something and have an effect on something that's not in your possession. That's l'chayra steer to Rabbi Yochanan. The problem is that the tznuim is an anonymous mishnah. Doesn't say anybody's name. It says hatznuim. The tzaddikim, they used to do this. And it seems like we passing like that. So that's a contradiction to Rabbi Yochanan. Stam as a side note, Moshe Rabbeinu was called Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? Because Pari's daughter did a chesed. So forever we call the greatest Yid Moshe Rabbeinu on a name that an Egyptian princess called him. Why? Because she did chesed. And the Medrash says, you see from here, the power of chesed. The person does chesed, and this is even greater chesed. This is a chesed that nobody knows about. This snuim. I'm doing chesed with somebody that stole from me. He's a ganav, he stole from me, and I'm doing him a chesed without any. It's the quietest, most beautiful chesed. Okay. Says the Gemara, remember, I told you to remember his name. Reb Shimon Gamliel is the one in this Bryce over here. So perhaps Tznuim is not really anonymous. Tznuim is a man Omar called Reb Shimon Gamliel. And since it's a man Omar, it doesn't mean that the Rabbi Yochanan agrees with him. Rabbi Yochanan paskins that we have to say like anonymous. And we thought that Tznuim is anonymous. But maybe no. Maybe Tznuim is like Reb Shimon Gamliel. So Gemara says you still have a big problem. Why? Rabbi Yochanan himself says that the halacha is always like Reb Shimon Gamliel. So either way you're going to grab it. If you say it's anonymous, the halacha is like anonymous. If the halacha is like, if it's Reb Shimon Gamliel, Rabbi Yochanan also passes like Reb Shimon Gamliel. So again, you see that somebody that doesn't have possession over his items, they're in the reshus of a ganav, he still could create chulin when it's not in his reshus. So he should be able to create a hegdish when it's not in his reshus. The halacha is always like Reb Shimon Gamliel. Three times in Shas, in the Mishnah, is that the halacha is not like Reb Shimon Gamliel. We just had in Gittin recently, we're not going to go through all three, but one case where a person says, Hareza Gitech, I'll give you a get on condition, you give me my frak, give me my coat. So she agrees. So according to Reb Shimon Gamliel, it's a good get, even though she doesn't return the coat, she gives him cash instead of the coat. Okay. Over there, we don't pass Reb Shimon Gamliel. Amri, if we just change a little bit of the word, the diktuk in the word, it comes another halacha. That Rabbi Yochanan paskin like the tznuim, the anonymous mission is not a steer to Rabbi Yochanan, because the tznuim never spoke about something that happened in the past, that the guy has power over something that's not in his possession. Fakert. We're talking about something that's still on the tree. We have grapes that are still on the tree, and the tznuim say, anybody that's going to grab some of my grapes today, right now, I am giving this money and putting it aside, and it's going to be mechulal, I'm going to be paid, I'm going to redeem it on this money, even though the act didn't happen yet. And what is that called? Retroactive clarification, breira. I'm doing a ma'isa right now that's going to take place later on. Later on, we're going to decide which grape my money went on. I'm putting the money aside today, right now in the morning, and kol hamislaket, whatever is going to happen, that's what's going to go on this money. That's only if you hold retroactive clarification, or in Hebrew, I found that it's called birur retroactivi. I came to Shai, I thought it's retroactive clarification. It turns out they actually have a word, birur retroactivi. Okay. Gewaldig. So, kol hamislaket. What does it say here? It says kol hamislaket. It's still on the ground. It's still attached to the tree. When somebody grabs some of my grapes, bigneva, they're okay. It's not revai anymore because I put money aside. So what do you see? That I could do this, I could be michal grapes even though they're attached to the vineyard. That's what it says there. Kol hamislaket, in the future. I'm being michal right now, and something that's still attached. As taisves, so let him be michal all his grapes. Let him just redeem everything. This tsanua, if he wants to, why do you have to come on to retroactive clarification? It's not a particular grape that is going to be michal. I'm going to be michal all 10,000 grapes that I have here. It says taisves, because the tsanua wants to go up to Yerushalayim himself. He wants to eat some of his grapes. He doesn't want to be michal everything. Besides, some of the grapes didn't even come out yet, did it? So, it doesn't work. Great. So as the Gemara, nice try. You want to change the word. Instead of whatever they were malakit already, whatever happened in the past, you want to do whatever happened in the future. Each one carries its own problem. Whatever happened in the past, what's the problem? It's not in your reshus. And whatever happens in the future, what's the problem? It's breira or not breira. So each one has a problem. But the Gemara says, Rabbi Yochanan doesn't agree with you. Rabbi Yochanan doesn't change the word to mislakit. It's likate. Why? I'll prove it to you. Because Rabbi Yochanan says, actually, we're going to have a little tiny sugya like that here, if you just look. These two things are the same. Reb Doisa that says that you're mafkir for the aniyim, we're going to see in a second, that they shouldn't be over in Gezel, is the same thing as the tznuim that say you mechala for Gazlan, you shouldn't be over in Ravak. What's the case? So it goes like this. We know that there are special gifts that we give to the poor. Leket, Shikha, and Peah. So this is, I'm not going to go through the old ones. This is what we had, Leket, and that's the main one that we're talking about. Leket is when a farmer, he's taking his crop through the field, 2 stalks fall down, the poor person is allowed to take the 2 stalks. What about 3? 3 is also. This is just it's time to show that it fell and he got a boo-boo. In 3D, we're working on the 3D version. It's still in the making, but here, this is what, okay, it's from all different angles. 2, yes, 3, not. What happens if an ani takes 3? What problem does he have? Gezel. What else? So Tai says there's another problem here. 2, who said that? And what about 2? Why? Oh, very good. Says Robert Early. If he takes 2, he's parted from Trumas and Maestros. But if he takes 3, since it's not leket anymore, he's chayiv in Trumas and Maestros. So now he's over in the Issa Deraisa of eating tevel. So what does the owner do? The owner feels bad for the poor. The poor doesn't mean to take 3. He's an Amaretz. He doesn't know you take 2, 3. He doesn't know this stuff. Okay? He never went to yeshiva. He's too poor to afford yeshiva and tuition. So he's an Amaretz. I want to have Rachmanis on him. So what do? I'm mafkir it. Oh, that's a good question. I like that. You hear what he's asking? Is that the hefker only works for gezel, won't help for leket. Hefker is part from Trumas or Maishas, says Reb David. Okay, right. That's why we say every rich person can be mafkir in the chasa. Migud have a mafkir. Okay, fine. Saying good. Givaldik. So, do we have to be mamshech here? Here's shikha. If you forgot two bundles, if you got a bundle, 1 bundle, 2 bundles, peah. The corner of the field, also you leave for the ani. These are just we're talking about leket now. The Sanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer Shachris. In the morning, you see, it's cool. One says Shachris, in other words, before it started, before the problem occurred, and the other man says in the evening, after the problem happened. That's Mamash our sugya. Shachris Balabai Yisrael V'Omer, he stands over there and says, Kol sheyilketu aniyim hayoyim yeh hefker. Whoever takes in the future shall be hefker. What is that called? Pereira. Retroactive clarification. Oh, this is the Rabbi Doisa we're looking for. The Rabbi Yochanan said that it's the same thing as our sugya. He says, no. Kol sheloktu aniyim yeh hefker. Anything they took already. So it says mefurish that Rabbi Yochanan says the Rabbi Doisa and the tznuim are saying the same thing. In other words, you can't change the word from what happened to what's going to happen to mislak it. Rabbi Yochanan says that the tznuim are talking about something that happened already. It says mefurish kol shelaktu. It happened already. So how can you change what happened with tznuim, right? Rabbi Yochanan is the one that says that the tznuim are saying the identical thing to Rabbi Doisa, and Rabbi Doisa is saying what happens in the future, what happened already. Interesting. If somebody bakes matzahs erev Pesach after Chatzos, that's how Hasidim they bake. It's a mitzvah to bake. It's a special mitzvah to bake erev Pesach, brought in the Shulchan Aruch. So the Bach says that if you do that, you should be mafkir all the crumbs that you have over there, just in case chametz. So as the Chatzos, how can you be mafkir something that's not in your possession? This is what we're talking about. After Chatzos, chametz is not in your possession anymore. You don't have the rishos to be mafkir something that's not in your possession. That's our sugya. Says Gemara Epoch. The Reb Yehuda, the Reb Doisa, the Reb Doisa, the Reb Yehuda, and it goes like this. That what? We said that the tznuim and Reb Doisa line up. The tznuim, you see, it's in his pocket already. That's how Yoshi drew it. That if it's in the gan of his pocket, in the poor person's pocket, it already happened. And now I'm saying, what already happened, I want to be mafkir. So the tznuim and Reb Doisa line up. It already happened. But we have a little bit of a problem with Rabbi Yochanan. So we're going to say, we have to switch what Rabbi Doisa said. Rabbi Doisa didn't say what already happened. Rabbi Doisa said what's going to happen. And therefore, we also have to switch what the Tznuim said. The Tznuim said, whatever's going to happen, I'm going to be mafkir, and that's a question of breira. Yeah? Again, Rabbi Yochanan says that once it leaves your possession, I cannot make a carbon. Once it leaves your possession, I cannot be mafkir. Once it leaves your possession, I cannot be mechalal. So we must say that Reb Doisa, and he says that the Tznuim say like Reb Doisa, and we pass like the Tznuim. So we must switch a little bit of what the Tznuim, what Reb Doisa said, and therefore the Tznuim say. The Rebbe is not even talking about what happened. What happened? You're right. You have no effect on something that's out of your rishus. What Rabbi Yochanan is talking about is what's going to happen. But here's the big problem. Rabbi Yochanan doesn't hold a breira. So what's going to happen is also a major issue with Rabbi Yochanan. This can't be either. Eipoch. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Doisa, Rabbi Doisa, Rabbi Yehuda. We're going to switch the words. Says the Gemara, why are you flipping the Braisa? Rabbi Yochanan. Just once you're switching and moving words around, I have a much easier way. Do this. Look, Rabbi Yisai, look at the chart for a second. Instead of saying that Rabbi Yochanan said that the Tznuim line out with the Rabbi Doisa, keep what Rabbi Doisa said, Rabbi Doisa said liktu, what they did already, and just switch what Rabbi Yochanan said and said that the Tznuim line up with Rabbi Yehuda. If you're already changing names, you're already changing what they said, just say Rabbi Yochanan never said that the Tznuim line up with the Rabbi Doisa. Rabbi Yochanan said the Tznuim line up with the Rabbi Yehuda. Says the Gemara, that can't be. That doesn't work. You can't do that. It doesn't work. It's not good. If you line up Tznuim with Rabbi Yehuda, in other words, Rabbi Yehuda is going to be the one that says that whatever that they do in the future, whatever the Ganav steals in the future, whatever weed he steals, whatever Ani steals, I'm moichalim, I'm being mafkir today, I'm being mafkir now, so that means retroactive clarification. Breira. That can go with Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda doesn't hold of the concept of retroactive clarification, so I cannot put those words next to Rabbi Yehuda. This nan, Daf Samachtes Amud Beis. The famous Maisa. A guy buys wine from a kusi, Erev, Shabbos, Bein HaShmoshes. He has no time. This is a kusi back in the day. This is a kusi today. Basically, there's a machlokes in Shas. It's a kusi. Today they call it Shomranim. They live here in Eretz Yisrael and Har Grizim. Are they real converts and Gerim or not? Were they converted because of the lions? They were scared of the lions? Or the real Gerim, they love Torah, they want. Regardless of what it is, they're not so makbid on all the mitzvahs, certainly not on Trumas and Meisers when they sell to somebody else. In fact, today we already say that they're Yeinam, Yeinesach, and you can't even buy wine from them. But in those days, you bought wine from the Kusi. And it's Erev Shabbos, Bein HaShmoshes. It's also for you to take Trumas and Meisers on Shabbos. Why? Because you're Misakim Mona. You're not allowed to fix something on Shabbos, but you want to drink wine. You need to drink wine. What do? So if you hold the breira, it's very simple. You just say, you see this bottle of wine? 2% of this bottle of wine is Truma, 10% of this is Meiser, 10% of this bottle is Meiser Sheni, 22% or whatever you want to call it, the exact cheshbon, is Trumas and Meisers. When Motzei Shabbos comes, whatever's left in the bottle, that's the 22% that I was mafresh on Erev Shabbos. If I don't say breira, and I say that the Trumas and Meisers is in this bottle of wine, I have a major problem. Why? Because every drop of wine that I'm drinking includes in it 22% Trumas and Meisers, and it's also for me to drink Trumas and Meisers. But if you hold the breira, so we'll find out on Motzei Shabbos, whatever I left in the bottle, the last 22%, that was the Trumas and Meisers. Says the Gemara, the 2% of the 100 is Truma. Sara, Meiser Rishon, and 10% is for Meiser. Tisha, Meiser Sheni. And 9%, and 10%, which is 9, right? Whatever's left. Because I already took off 10%. So if I started out with 100 lugin or 100, what's the word I'm looking for? Parts, okay? Lugin, what? Units. If I start out with 100 units and I gave 10% or 12% to the Kohen and the Levi, so I'm now left with 90 units or 89 or whatever. So 10% of that is 9. So that's what it says. Tisha Meiser Sheni Umeichal. I could be paid right now because it's not even Shabbos yet. So I could say that the 10% that's Meiser Sheni should go on the money that I have right over here that I could do. Vishoysim Miyad, and he could start drinking Divrei Rabbi Meir because Rabbi Meir holds Yesh Breira. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yezer, Rabbi Shimon Oisrim. Oh, so you see, the Rabbi Yehuda holds there's no Breira. If Rabbi Yehuda holds no Breira, I cannot change words in the Brisa to match up to Rabbi Yehuda and say that Rabbi Yehuda holds Yesh Breira when Rabbi Yehuda says Ein Breira. Amri soif soif amayko afchas lemasnisa, and why we go is the brisa. At the end of the day, why are you flipping the brisa? Mishum the kasha the Rabbi Yehuda. You're saying it doesn't work with Rabbi Yehuda, and that's why you have to switch back. Hashanami kasha the Rabbi Yehuda. But now that you're saying that yesh breira, you're gonna switch it. That Rabbi Yochanan is gonna hold breira. That it's in order for we have a bomb question of Rabbi Yochanan. Why does Rabbi Yochanan say that I can't take a carbon that's I can't take an animal that's not in my possession and make it a carbon? It doesn't add up with the tznuim, so we have to say that the tznuim said yesh breira, but Rabbi Yochanan himself doesn't hold yesh breira. It's a major contradiction to Rabbi Yochanan. How do I know? Alma is lebreira. You're telling me that Rabbi Yochanan holds yesh breira, but Rabbi Yochanan less lebreira. Rabbi Yochanan holds no breira. So that's also a major problem. The famous case that Rabbi Yochanan says, we'll say Baal Peh, brothers who are dividing a Yerusha, when they divide the Yerusha, and this brother takes the factory and this brother takes the mansion, do we say that retroactively this is exactly what the father left by Yerusha? When we decide that this he gets this and he gets that, then it comes out that this is exactly what he left? Or no, they made a deal. And when you make a deal, then you're more like a purchaser, and then every single yovel, it goes back to the original owners, the original thing. You have to redo the whole Yerusha all over again. It's a major nafkamina. What does Rabbi Yochanan hold? Rabbi Yochanan holds that ein breira. Yeah, every yovel you have to restart. So you see that Rabbi Yochanan holds ein breira. Oh, so now we have to go back and say that we're talking about anything that was already removed from the tree. So we have a problem. Again, the tznuim are talking about something that already happened. And what's the problem? If it happened already, how come the tznuim gave money to something that's not in their possession? The Ganav walked away with it. And the tznuim yet held that even though it's not in the possession of the owner, he still is able to be mechalel food and grapes that are not in his possession. That's a contradiction to Rabbi Yochanan, who says that you cannot make an animal a carbon when it's not in possession. Says the Gemara, the answer to that is Rabbi Yochanan stam achrina ashkach. Guess what? Rabbi Yochanan has another Mishnah that says exactly like him. You know which Mishnah, Rabbi? You're not going to believe, right under our noses. Our Mishnah from Meruba, the first Mishnah that we learned, and we're still on that Mishnah. This is not, it says in our Mishnah. And if Ganav number 2 steals from Ganav number 1, he doesn't have to pay kefil. Why? Amai. Okay, I understand he doesn't have to pay the kefil, the 2 payments to the first Ganav. Why? It says before in the Torah that kefil is only when you steal from the owner, not from a Ganav. Why doesn't he pay? The first Ganav has to pay kefil to the owner. The second Ganav should also pay kefil to the owner. Why? He stole it. He took it. Let's say I leave my computer in the base medrash and somebody comes and takes it. He's a Ganav. So my computer was by Ganav number 1 and you took it. So you took my computer. You should pay me kefil. The answer is, somebody asked that yesterday. Somebody over here was asking that. Maybe you, Rabbi Dambi. I don't know. Somebody was asking. What do you see from this? How come you don't pay kefil? He says, you see from our mission, there's a concept. When it's not in your possession, you don't deserve anything. You don't get kefil for something that's not in your reshus. Oh, so if it's not in your possession, then you cannot make it a carbon either. You lose authority over it. And if you lose authority over it, you can't make it a carbon. That's what I say, Rabbi. So I have a problem. There's a Mishnah Stam called Tznuim, and that's a contradiction to me. But I like the Mishnah Meruba, and that goes with me. Says the Gemara, "My chazes dazal basar haistam elevet kahistam the Tznuim." Here, Here we have the two things. We have our Mishnah that you cannot be magdish something that's not in your shus, and we have this Snum that say you could be magdish something that's in your shus. Why did he pick the blue over the red? Because our Mishnah has a raya from the Torah. Vishki Akdish is basically Kodesh Lashem. A person is magdish his house. What does it mean his house? Nobody takes his house. His house is his, it's in his possession. In order for you to be magdish anything, it has to be your possession, and Rabbi Yochanan likes that. Omer Abai.
That trumps the rule that we pass on Rabbi Shimon Gamliel.
Why? What does that have to do with Rabbi Shimon Gamliel? No, the stam.
So then that should trump the other stam also.
You're saying by the tznuim. By the tznuim, he says not like that. He argues on the tznuim. No. What does he say? He says that's only in hefker, only on shmita.
No, the Gemara entertained the possibility that tznuim was Rabbi Shimon Gamliel.
No. We said, on that sad, yeah, but the Gemara said even on that sad we pass on Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. Forget that. Okay. Omar Abai. So, Rabbi Yochanan tells us that these two halachas are identical. That what? Rabbi Doisa says that you should be mafkir, or people would be mafkir their wheat, so that the ani doesn't take 3 illegally. We're mafkir. And the tznuim, they say something similar. That a ganav that takes my grapes without rishus, I'm moichelim. Not a moichelim, I redeem it for him. So the Gemara says something very simple. If I have to come onto Chachamim to say that this works, so if I say this halacha by the aniyim, I would never know that this halacha goes by a gazlan. Chachamim said something special. Ani, a poor guy, he doesn't know that halacha. He's doing it by mistake, says Rashi. He's a pashan ha'ma'aret. He took 3 instead of 2. So Chacham said a special halacha. You're not over on tevel. You're not over on gneva. I'm moichel. But Meicha Tesa to take that and say, as far as saying it, the same halacha by a guy that's a ganav who deliberately takes my grapes off my vineyard without rishus. He knows that he's a ganav. Everybody knows that you're not allowed to take somebody's grapes. Why would I apply that to the red? So says Abaya, that's a huge chiddush, says Abaya. Rabbi Yochanan says that it's the same halacha. And now we have a lot of words to say this simple concept. Tznuim agreed to Rabbi Doisa. Rabbi Doisa, let's say Tznuim. Rabbi Doisa doesn't agree to that. Why? Tznuim is Rabbi Doisa. If Rabbanan did it in the red one on the left, they said, we feel bad for Ganav, so certainly we feel bad for an Ani who didn't do it on purpose. Rabbi Doisa, let's say Tznuim. And Rabbi Doisa doesn't. We only did the special Gzeira by Ani. Luckily, Rabbi Yochanan says it's the same halacha, and if Chacham say it in one, they say it in the other. Great. Omar Rava, and now we have two more Amoraim to say the same idea, but we come up with a different concept. That what? Ilav the Omar Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Yochanan says it's the same halacha. These two things. When a poor person taking by mistake and a ganav taking grapes on purpose, we could do something after the fact to help them out. It's the same halacha. If not for the fact that Rabbi Yochanan says that it's the same halacha, I would think that the tznuim is remeir. That what? Remeir. Oh, this is a lot of words to say a very, very simple thing. That Remeir says that when it comes to Meiser Sheni, he holds that Meiser Sheni, you take 10% of all your produce and you bring it to Yerushalayim. Remeir holds it's not yours. It's not yours. Meaning, if I want to be Mekadesh a woman with it, I'm not allowed to. It doesn't work. I can eat it as much as I want. The Torah gave me a special right to eat it. It's not yours. Yet, the only time when I redeem 10% of the Meiser Sheni, I have to add 25%. I have to have Chaimish. Chaimish is 25%. I have to add to it. Only if I'm the owner. If you do it for me, you don't have to have 25%. But wait a minute. I'm not an owner. You just told me I'm not the owner. You told me Hashem lets me eat it, but I'm not the owner. Yeah. For Chaimish, you're the owner. For everything else, you're not. So Memela, if I'm not the owner, I'm going to take something that I don't own, and I'm going to, like Neter Revai, Neter Revai is similar to Meiser Sheni, even though I don't own it, even though I'm not under the possession of it, I'm going to do something special to it. I'm going to be Mechalel it. Why? Because the Torah tells me you don't really have to be a true owner, even if you're almost an owner. Oh, so let's see inside. You should know that Meiser Sheni is not yours, it belongs to Hashem. But nevertheless, when you come to redeem it, it's as if it's yours. The chsiv v'mgoyel yigal ishme meiser chamishisa Yosef alav. You should add 25%. 20% in the lashon of the Torah, but it's 25% the way we call it. Karachmana meiseroi, and the Torah calls it your meiser. Meiser chaimish, and only the owner has to add this 25%. So Karen Revainami Gomer Kodesh Kodesh Meiser. Check this out. We have Exer Shava called Kodesh Kodesh. What just happened? Oh. It says by Revai Kodesh, and it says by Meiser Sheni Kodesh. So we make a comparison. Meiser. The Ksiv Kodesh Shilum. Ksiv Gabi Meiser v'Chol Meiser 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 Lashem Kodesh. Ma Kodesh the Ksiv Gabi Meiser Af Ko Ma Kodesh the Ksiv Gabi Meiser Af Agav the Moment Gavayu. Even though it's Meiser Sheni we just established is not really yours. Limpdia. But when it comes to redeeming it, it's yours. So too, when it comes to netter revai, avagav the 4th year grape, avagav the lav mamdideyu, even though it's not your possession. So for me to help out the ganav that stole my grapes, the Torah put it back into my domain, and I redeem it. The this revai, when you want to eat it, it's not really yours. It's like Meiser Sheni, but yet the Torah said you're allowed to redeem it. That's why over here this guy could help out the ganav even though it's not in his possession. But when it comes to lekit, even the day, since it's yours, right? When I drop 2 stalks on the floor, who owns it? Me. I'm the owner until the ani comes and takes it. Only when it's in your possession, you have the ability to be mafkirid. Once the ani, by mistake, takes 3 instead of 2, it's not in my possession anymore. Let's just do these 3 lines because it's the end of the sugya. Omer Avina. If not for the fact that Rabbi Yochanan says that these 2 halachas are the same, that Snuim and Reb Doisa, Havamina Mantan Snuim Reb Doisa. Who is Snuim? Reb Doisa. So what do I gain by that? I gain that you asked me a question, how come Rabbi Yochanan? He has to go like the Tznuim. Why does Rabbi Yochanan have to go like the Tznuim? Because they're anonymous. No, they're not anonymous. Tznuim is an individual called Rabbi Doisa, and that's why he doesn't have to go with him. You shouldn't ask a question from the Stam Mishnah. Rabbi Yochanan doesn't have to pasking like Rabbi Doisa, but unfortunately, Rabbi Yochanan himself says that the Tznuim and Rabbi Doisa are the same halacha, but not the same person. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Now we'll say Tehillim. Be'ez Hashem Rabbi Sai. We have to say Tehillim that this week we should hear Psurus Toivus. This week they should get rid of those top guys of Hamas, and this week we should find some of those hostages. Be'ez Hashem, we're going to say Tehillim b'chavona. Shilam alo, Yisasoy na Elohim ayuvo Yezri. Ezri memadino Yisei Shumayim v'oretz. Al yitein lamoy draglecha yonum shimrecho. Inei lo yonum lo yishon shimei Yisrael. Adinoi shimrecho, adinoi tzilcha yad yiminecho. V'em Hashemesh lo yakeko v'yereach v'aloylo. Adin yishmercho mikol ro yishmor es nafshecho. Adinoi yishmor tzischo v'yecho me'atov yadilom. Achenu go Beis Yisrael and Sura Mitzvah Shiv Yoim Nibim Bayom Ubim Bayabosh. Amokim Rachem Alei Mitzvim Yisrael Levocho Ume'afela Leyoiro Mishiv Legvul Ashto Bagalov Zman Korev Nimar Omein.